Hey traders from around the world, what's going on? It's me, Jeremy Alexander Newsome with reallifetrading.com. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. It is Friday, which means the week is over in trading. The markets are closed right now, and we got about 40 minutes or so until the afternoon swing trading room begins. So squeaked out some hamburger money today, 0.2R from day trading. Put me at right at 1.7 R for the month of September. So still got a long way to go in September. That is including everything, day trading, spreads, all that stuff. Got some options expiring next week. So we will all look to see that number increase between now and this time next week. So that's the just a little quick update. SPY, nothing going on. Perfect Doge today. Today is a perfect doji candle. And what is interesting, here's the weekly chart, and remember this is only a 4-day week, so we have an inside week on the SPY, which just simply means it could break any direction. Pressure is building. What's more interesting than that, though, is if you turn off the moving averages, this would be great, by the way, if this happens. I'm not saying it will, but it would be phenomenal. Is at this point, if this just turns into a little bit of a channel, we hang out here for a bit, something like this. I'm just saying that's, I wouldn't say worst case scenario, but I think it's been a while now since the S&P 500 or the Standard & Poor's 500 has had more than a 3% pullback. So a pullback to 2/3 now would be great. September, October are predominantly a little bit more bearish months of the year. Again, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying it could. And if it does, I'll probably look to buy that dip somehow. Yes, people will be talking about it as a double top. People will be talking about it as a head and shoulders. It's possible, of course. I just don't think it's possible, just not super plausible. We'll see. I like the pennant regardless on SPY. That is a big takeaway. This is a pennant pattern right there. And if it breaks out bullish, be bullish. If it breaks down bearish, just be bullish to neutral. Look for a good place to buy the dip. The other indices really not that exciting. The Dow Jones not doing anything. It's kind of hanging out. The Qs, same thing. A little bit of a bearish day on the Qs, granted. Mostly because of Apple. And it did have a white candle gapping down, and I was kind of keeping an eye on the Qs as a slight bearish move, but overall, didn't take any trades on the Qs today. Here's the IWM. The IWM, a little bit of a bullish candle. So overall, not much of an exciting week on the overall indices. Let's check out some individual stocks that were requested. There's a lot. So as far as some stocks, here is ticker symbol AG, which is a silver company. And AG, this was one of the first stocks I ever traded in my life. I think way back when. First Majestic Silver Company. Here's what I got on it. We had a really nice, random, very quiet run-up in 2016, gaining like 900% without no one even mentioning it on the news. Now we are pulling back, and we're kind of forming a really ugly triangle pattern of some kind. It's like a wedge-ish. Looks kind of like a toasted cheese sandwich. It's not very pretty. Anyway, on AG, there is some volume coming in down here. You did have a very interesting pennant pattern right there. We got a break out of that, a little bit of an upper shadow this week. My thoughts on AG are bullish to neutral. If at some point we can break above 820, then I'll be really excited about this thing going bullish. I am longer term interested and excited about silver anyway. I've been buying physical silver. I'll be talking about that in just a second. So AG, that's what it looks like on the weekly chart. Here's your long-term moving average, and your long-term 100, 200 are acting as a resistance. That's why I said that 820 level. So that's going to be the big level. A break above that, and I'll be interested in some AG. I had a trader request Shopify, ticker symbol SHOP, and there's a lot of traders making $1 or $2 on Shopify. More traders than I can count. You know who you are if you're in. The trend is bullish. It's really that simple. Once you know the trend is bullish, buy the dip. Where do you want to buy the dip? Up to you, up to your time frame. Right, here's your previous all-time high, which would be about the 20 EMA, so 105. That's one dip buying opportunity. If it pulls down to 105, buy there. If you have a smaller time frame, maybe buy at 108 if you're a day trader or a really short-term swing trader. And that's really about it on Shopify. It had a great little dip right here, right? So it broke out of the all-time high, had 5 white candles in a row. Very easy to know to wait for a pullback, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You had a retest gap here. You had a retest gap right there. Pulls into the 10. That's where you buy, and then just a nice little pop on Shopify. So overall, I like them to continue bullish. There's a lot of traders in shares, put sales, calls, long-term, short-term. A lot of traders in Shopify. Next target 126.46 sometime before the end of the year. Here is RTN. I got a request on Raytheon company, and my good buddy Fred is in some January 19 130 calls. He's been in those since April. Nice looking trend. This is defense stock. One of the stocks that I mentioned at the beginning of the year would be pretty strong with the Trump presidency. This week is an interesting week. The open and the sorry, I was like, those numbers don't make sense. The open and the high of this week are the exact same on Raytheon, making this a shaved top candle. And since it's a shaved top candle at an all-time high, I'm not saying the market's going to tank, not saying Raytheon is going to go to zero. I'm just simply saying it's likely going to pull back a little bit or trade sideways from here. I mean, look at this trend, right? Look at the trend. It is massively strong. So all-time high shaved top candle on a weekly. Yes, the trend is bullish. But with that signal, that says to me just be really cautious on any bullish trades and look for more of a pullback opportunity. Obviously, it had a very good bullish gap action. Nice bullish gap and go just a few days ago, and that was good for a point or two, actually 4. So you could have traded that on RTN. And then what did it do? Well, it broke out, made a new all-time high, and pulled back to a recent old resistance, new support, and that's where one would have bought. Pretty much there and or this gap. If you're not in on RTN, I would say just pick a good spot to buy the dip again. For me personally, it'd probably be around this 176 area. Just a strong trend, and I want to make sure that it slowly creeps higher, but buy dips when I get the opportunity to. Had another trader ask me, where do I buy my physical gold and silver? APMEX, which is American Precious Metal Exchange. This is just where I personally buy it. I don't get points or money for referring them. I could theoretically. You'd have to call them on the phone and actually tell them who is referring you over there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. APMEX is where I go. Or sorry, APMEX. I keep saying APMEX. The P and the M's are the bad. They switch around in my head a lot. Anyway, this is a good place to go. If you spend more than 99 bucks, it's free shipping. I buy all kinds of stuff on here. I like buying colonial currency. I like buying Roman currency, a lot of silver. Anyway, that's where I go. That's the answer to that question. And appreciate you asking very much. Have another shout out, kind of like a random thing that I want to talk about. He told me, he bet me that I wouldn't do this, so I'm going to do it. Happy birthday, Derek Newsome. Proud of you, man. He is turning older, 1 year older. I do know how old he is. He's 20. So this is Derek Newsome. He lives down in Statesboro, Georgia, and I just want to say happy birthday. Very incredible guy. I want to scroll down. There was a really cool post he did, and I can't figure out where it is now. How do I see that post, Derek? Let me see if I click on my events. I won't spend too long on this. Give me 3 seconds. I'm trying to find. So anyway, he was donating for the Wounded Warrior Project for his birthday, which is just awesome. What 20-year-old does that? I wish I did that when I was 20. Trying to scroll down. I think I saw it early this morning. You might have already hit his target then, I'm assuming. Well, anyway, if you guys have a Facebook page, I don't know if you are friends with Derek Newsome, my nephew, but anyway, he is donating to the Wounded Warriors Project for his 20th birthday, and Derek, that's amazing, man. Giving is living. It's a fantastic quote. You're an incredible guy. Thanks for being my nephew. I love you, and hope to see you soon. All right, so some other stocks to talk about. We got Fitbit and GoPro. These might be breaking out. Fitbit and GoPro might be on the verge of breaking out. I'm going to be keeping an eye on them. They're definitely not doing it yet, but they could be. Some volume is starting to pick up. We did make a little bit of a higher high and a higher low on Fitbit. Here was another gap action. You got some good volume. Now here's the long-term moving averages on Fitbit. We are above the 200, so that's kind of a big ordeal on FIT. So keep this one on your bullish watch list. I'm not a perma bear on Fitbit, but there is the resistance right there from that gap. So watch the gap, watch the break. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I am keeping it on my watch list pretty much every day. If I start seeing some good bullish follow through on the hourly or the daily, I'll be looking at getting in Fitbit for a short-term bill-paying bullish trade. Very similar to GoPro. GoPro also getting some gaps, getting some volumes. Had a good bullish gap and go. Shout out to my good buddy Mike over there in Australia for about getting about 10R on GoPro yesterday. Well done, man. Here's the weekly chart on GoPro, and a big target. It's going to be that 100 simple on a weekly, which is about $12. But that's about 20% away. A lot of volume coming in, kind of a rest after battle candlestick pattern. All I'm saying is this could be a thing to consider on GoPro. Two other things I want to talk about. First, obviously the hurricane, a big issue for all of my traders down there in Puerto Rico, the thousands of real life traders in Florida, and obviously my friends down there in Gainesville, Orlando, Tampa, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orange Beach. Orange Beach, is that in Florida? Crescent Beach. Everyone down in the Florida area, if you're listening to my voice now, I know you've gone through 100 different hurricanes over the last 100 years. Get some wild turkey, be safe, spend time with your friends and family. You know what to do, write it out. Just don't do what I did when I was 16 and go get a big blanket and tie a surfboard to your feet and try to surf through the lawn while holding the blanket in hurricane wind force. That was Hurricane Charlie. I tried that, and I got about like 25 feet in the air before I realized this was a really bad idea. Anyway, hurricane winds are serious. Don't try to capture the force with a sheet and ski in the front yard of a friend's house. Just throwing that out there. Be safe. Next on the list, last but not least for today, Cracker Barrel. Actually, I got two more. Cracker Barrel, CBRL. Here's the weekly chart. Looks like a really nice resistance. Meow, right there. Very obvious location to not be buying. And then once it broke this support, which I did mention to a few traders could be a good support for it to bounce off of. And if it doesn't bounce off of that support, which it didn't, either go bearish or just don't be bullish. So as it's breaking off, we noticed the last two times it broke through the 100 before bouncing, which means it could do this again. If Cracker Barrel comes down to 136.39, I could see a good buying opportunity for it. The stock does pay dividends. I was just at Cracker Barrel last week for some breakfast with a buddy of mine. I'm not personally going to do this trade. Huge bullish candle today. Earnings are right around the corner. So we'll keep an eye and see what happens on Cracker Barrel. If we trade sideways and we gap down below the low of this white candle on Cracker Barrel, that could be a pretty good bearish gap. Just keep your eyes on earnings. If it gaps down largely and you want to find a good buying spot for it, feel free to do so. It would be, in my personal opinion, a longer term position. I don't see anything short term, at least at this exact moment in time. And last but not least, my buddy Steve Gill texted me about 10 minutes ago, asking me about this particular trade on Kroger. And so Steve, this is why I couldn't take your phone call, man. I'm sorry, I was right in the middle of this. Here's the daily chart on Kroger. Want to give a shout out to Stephen King, Tim Thurman, my good buddy Gary Wilson, and Blake Anderson, I think, and maybe even a few others who played Kroger today. This was a bearish gap and go, right? White candle, gapping down. That's it. People were trapped. People were losing money. People were scared. People were selling. This is a bearish gap and go. So at least you know to be bearish. Now, granted, I did not personally take this trade. There are definitely some traders who did. Realistically, here's how one would have played it. I think here's how Stephen King played it. He took an entry below the low of this candle. So you got a high wave white candle. The first 5-minute candle is one of my favorite candles to get. And I think his stop was right there. And obviously a large stop, but it was above the high of the candle. Stock traded up into my daily support. I've had this line on Kroger for like 2 years. 21.52. You got a shooting star candle on that support. Old support, new resistance. Failed that. Trade back up again. Failed it again. Trade back up. Failed this. And then this is the candle that says, hey guys, we're moving in case you want to maybe move with us. So that was the break of that support level. And then from there, it just kind of crumbled. This is where most of the real life traders exited, somewhere around here for about an R and a half, 2 Rs, depending on where you got it. So Kroger, good trade for anyone who got a chance to play it. Well done. It did have a little bit of a bullish pop later in the day because it is a dividend paying stock and people were trying to buy the dip on this one. And it also is at some daily support, as you can kind of see. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but nice lower shadows. If Kroger trades sideways for 3 or 4 days or whatever, and then gaps below the low, it's going to continue again. That would be a phenomenal gap. I don't know if that's going to occur, of course, but I can at least plan for that potentially to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, legends and legendettes from around the world, I will see each and every one of you on Monday for your next free real life stock review. Make sure to consider hopping over to reallifetrading.com. Every now and then, we do post some really cool stuff down here. Newest videos and articles, as well as this. This is going to be updated here soon with the new registration links and new times for our class 5, 6, 7, and 8 for futures. I'll also be emailing out the recording tomorrow morning, I believe, and also the links to register. It's been a huge hit, huge success. A lot of people loving it, a lot of people having fun, a lot of people are making money, virtual money. Karen, if you're listening to this, we're trading virtually, okay? Not trading real money yet, but once we get done, we're going to, baby. Risk small, lose less money than you win, all that good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, you rock. I'll see you later. Until next time, love life, live life, trade it. Bye.